All right, fellow survivors, are you ready for this? EMBA is back. Feels like we've been waiting forever, right?
Yeah, it really does. Especially with this whole staggered release thing. Some players are already in there living the dream, but others, well, we're still waiting.
It's true. Mainly Android users with the premium app seem to have gotten in first. But hey, that just means more intel for us to dig through,
No,
right?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, from what we've seen so far, this EMBA is going to be a huge shakeup.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. For starters, no more biomass ammo for the event weapons. That changes everything.
It does. Think about all those strategies we've built up over past MBAs, all that farming, gone. Out the window.
Yeah, the devs are really throwing us a curveball here. It seems like they're pushing us toward a more, I don't know, traditional kind of combat.
Maybe, but with some seriously wild weapons.
Oh yeah, those new weapons are something else. We've got a pistol that can completely immobilize enemies, a grenade launcher that looks absolutely devastating.
A sniper rifle?
Right, and then there's this mysterious grenade with, get this, 20-fold damage.
20-fold. What are you going to aim that thing at?
Yeah.
I'm already picturing myself taking out a whole horde with one toss.
I know, right? It's crazy. I think I might be most excited about that sniper rifle, though. What about you? What's on your EMBA wish list?
Ooh, that's tough. So many good options. I mean, you've got the new weapons, obviously, but then there are the AIDA suits, the new skins.
I've always had a soft spot for a good AIDA suit, especially that indestructible AIDA 2K. Makes running through spore zones so much easier.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
But what about these disk economy changes? I'm seeing chatter about increased disk values. That sounds good, right? More disks, more rewards.
Well, on the surface, yeah, it seems like we might be able to get more discs per day, but there's a catch.
There's always a catch.
The cost of the event crates has gone way up, like really up. So even if we're swimming in discs, they might not go as far as we're used to.
That's a big concern I'm seeing from a lot of players. This whole disc to crate ratio is throwing people for a loop.
Yeah, and I think it's going to make us all think a lot more carefully about what we're going after. Do we go all in on one big reward? Or spread our discs out? It's going to be tough.
Definitely. So what's the overall vibe from the community? Are people embracing the challenge or hoping for some tweaks?
It's kind of a mixed bag, honestly. There are definitely players who are already strategizing, sharing tips on the best ways to grind for discs. I'm seeing a lot of talk about focusing on old labs and making sure to hit those settlement quests.
Makes sense. Got to maximize those gains. But what about those missing weapons? The PK 7.62 Kraken? The Physicist's Crossbow? The Bolshevik flamethrower?
Yeah.
They're just gone.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Makes you wonder what's going on. Are they gone for good? Or are the devs just messing with us? Maybe they'll bring them back later. Who knows?
Adds to the mystery, I guess. Keeps us on our toes.
Yeah, definitely keeps things interesting.
So while we wait for our chance to jump into the EMBA action, it's clear that this event is already shaking things up big time.
Oh yeah, the changes to ammo, these new weapons, the disc economy, even those missing weapons. It's all got everyone talking and strategizing.
And trying to figure out just what this all means for our long-term survival. But hey, that's what we're here for, right? To dive deep, analyze the data, and come up with a plan. And trust me, there's a lot more to unpack.
One thing that caught my eye and I think is kind of interesting is the longer crafting times.
Longer crafting times. Now, why would that be a good thing? I thought we were all about speed and efficiency in the wasteland.
Well, think of it this way. With longer crafting times, you can set up these huge crafting queues, like load them up and then go off and do other stuff. Explore, scavenge, fight off some spore zombies, whatever needs doing.
Oh, I see. So it's like set it and forget it. Makes sense.
Yes.
Frees you up to focus on other tasks.
Exactly. And speaking of things that might need your attention, there's been some talk about the lizard pet.
Our scaly little friend. What about it?
Turns out it might not be as immune to the spores as we thought.
Really? A lizard getting debuffed by spores. That's kind of funny when you think about it.
Yeah, well, it seems even in the apocalypse, Mother Nature likes to keep things balanced. So maybe think twice before you take your lizard pal into a spore zone.
Maybe stick to the trusty dog or explore those other pet options.
Right. And on the topic of strategic thinking, have you heard about this perk combo, Nobody Leaves, and Sniper 1?
I have seen some chatter about that. A free rifle attack every turn, plus that damage boost from Sniper 1. Sounds pretty potent.
Oh, it is. It's like having a walking turret, picking off enemies from afar.
That has me thinking about my perk setup for sure. But is it worth focusing on over other perks? Ones that might be more versatile?
Well, that extra AP cost from Sniper 1 can be a bit of a pain, especially when things get hectic, so it depends on your playstyle, really. If you're a long-range sniper type, then yeah, go for it. But if you like to get up close and personal, maybe not so much.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's all about finding the right tools for the job, which is what makes DAR so great. Always got to adapt, think on your feet.
Absolutely, and this EMBA is definitely pushing us to do just that. With the crate prices, the new weapons, everything. But that's where these deep dives come in handy.
Exactly. The more info we have, the better decisions we can make. And speaking of info, let's talk about those crate prices. They've been causing quite a stir.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a hot topic. A lot of players are not happy about the increase, especially newer players who might not have a ton of discs saved up.
It's a tough one, right? On one hand, you want events to be challenging. You don't want it to be too easy to get all the rewards. But on the other hand, you don't want to make it feel impossible for some players.
It's a delicate balance for sure, and it seems like the devs are still figuring things out. They've always been pretty good about listening to feedback though, so who knows, maybe we'll see some adjustments.
Here's hoping. In the meantime, the best thing we can do is speak up, share our thoughts and concerns.
Absolutely. Let's work together to make sure this MBA is enjoyable for everyone. Now, while we're on the topic of cool things to get, let's talk about those new skins.
Oh yeah. Gotta love a little post-apocalyptic fashion show, right? What do you think of the designs?
I'm seeing a lot of orange, which is interesting. Some players are loving it, some not so much. But remember, these aren't just cosmetics. Some of them actually come with crafting recipes.
Ah, so there's a strategic element to the fashion.
Yeah.
Very cool. So now we have to decide, do we go for looks or for utility?
Exactly. It's all about finding that sweet spot. And speaking of utility, have you thought about how this whole EMBA thing is going to affect the in-game economy?
I've seen some chatter about that. With the switch from biomass ammo, it seems like regular bullets and shells are suddenly a lot more valuable.
Oh yeah, the traders must be loving this. It'll be interesting to see how things play out over the next few weeks. Will prices skyrocket?
Right.
Will new trading hubs pop up? Who knows?
Just another layer of complexity to this whole EMBA situation.
It really is. But that's what keeps DAR so fresh, right? Always something new to figure out, new challenges to overcome.
You said it. And this EMBA is a prime example. It's not just about getting the shiny new gear. It's about understanding the bigger picture, how everything connects. And that's where these deep dives come in.
Absolutely. The more we know, the better prepared we are. And speaking of preparation, let's talk about those contaminated buildings.
All right, let's get back to it. We've covered a lot of ground already, but there's still so much to talk about, like those contaminated buildings. They seem to be at the heart of this whole EMBA thing.
Yeah, those buildings are definitely a hot topic right now. High risk, high reward, and shrouded in mystery, of course. Lots of spores, lots of unknowns.
It's almost like the devs are saying, hey, you want this awesome gear? We'll come and get it.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be easy. And the big draw seems to be those skin shards, right? The key to unlocking the new looks.
Exactly. It's a clever way to tie the fashion element to the most challenging content. Do you play it safe or risk it all for a chance to look cool?
It's that blend of practicality and style that I love about DAR. Survival is key, but hey, might as well look good doing it. But speaking of practicality, let's talk about those new weapons. What's the word on the street? How are they performing?
From what I'm hearing, they're pretty impressive. Powerful, versatile, and well-balanced. The pistol's immobilization ability is a game changer for sure.
Oh, I bet. Imagine freezing an enemy in their tracks. Gives you so many options, right? Take your time, line up the perfect shot, or maybe make a tactical retreat.
Exactly. And then there's the grenade launcher. That thing is a beast, perfect for crowd control or just making a big explosive entrance.
And of course, we can't forget the sniper rifle. Classic for a reason.
Yeah.
Long range, high damage, a wasteland must-have.
And then you've got that grenade with 20-fold damage. That one's still a bit of a mystery, but it sounds like it packs a serious punch.
Can't wait to try it out myself. Sounds like a good way to clear a room. Or maybe just make a point.
And remember, these weapons are even more effective when you pair them with the right perks. There are some crazy combos out there.
That's where the DAR community really comes in handy, Sharing those tips and strategies, finding those perfect builds, it's amazing.
It really is. Even in the apocalypse, people find ways to help each other out. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Is this EMBA harder than the previous ones?
That's the big question, isn't it? I'm seeing so many different opinions out there.
It's hard to say for sure. I mean, it depends on so many things. Your experience level, your play style, the resources you have available. But those increased crate prices definitely add a new layer of difficulty.
Yeah, that's been a major point of contention for a lot of players.
Rightfully so. But on the other hand, we've got these amazing new weapons, new perks, new crafting recipes. It's a trade-off, I guess.
It is. Greater challenges, but also greater rewards.
Exactly. It's a true test of our survival skills.
Yeah.
And that's what makes DAR so great, right? It's always pushing us to adapt, to learn, to get better.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So as we wrap things up here, I just want to emphasize how much depth there is to this EMEA event. It's more than just new stuff. It's a reflection of the game itself.
It's about exploration, strategic thinking, community, and of course, survival.
So to all our listeners out there, as you head into EMBA, remember, take it slow, think things through, and don't be afraid to ask for help. And most importantly, have fun.
Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Well said. Until next time, survivors, stay safe out there.